Yo, what is up guys, Shinchi42 here. In today's video of Rise of Kingdoms, we're going to be talking about 5 best epic commanders that you as a free-to-play player or a moderate spender should be focusing on from the early game to late game. So these are the commanders that you're going to be investing and going to be your best friends. So the first commander is going to be Sun Tsu, and it's Sun Tsu because Sun Tsu has an AoE skill. When you go into the battlefield, it's going to be a big swarm, big clash, and you want that AoE there to inflict as much damage as it can. So here's my approach for Sun Tsu. I would keep him as a secondary commander to Eulji when we're going on a battlefield, and I would keep him around 4 stars and maybe level 30. But if I am going to use him as a garrison commander, he is a very good garrison commander. You can either keep him as a secondary if you don't want to invest a lot of basically XP and stars on him, but if you really want to use him as a garrison commander, flag defense, I would go ahead and go, make it 6 stars for Sun Tsu and level 60 because you can benefit a lot out of it. But you can either decide on that one, and then once you kind of a little bit, get into the game and you want to spend a little bit more money, if you've grown as a... Yo, what is up guys, Shinchi42 here. In today's video of Rise of Kingdoms, we're going to be talking about 5 best epic commanders that you as a free-to-play player or a moderate spender should be focusing on from the early game to late game. So these are the commanders that you're going to be investing and going to be your best friends. So the first commander is going to be Sun Tsu, and it's Sun Tsu because Sun Tsu has an AoE skill. When you go into the battlefield, it's going to be a big swarm, big clash, and you want that AoE there to inflict as much damage as it can. So here's my approach for Sun Tsu. I would keep him as a secondary commander to Eulji when we're going on a battlefield, and I would keep him around 4 stars and maybe level 30. But if I am going to use him as a garrison commander, he is a very good garrison commander. You can either keep him as a secondary if you don't want to invest a lot of basically XP and stars on him, but if you really want to use him as a garrison commander, flag defense, I would go ahead and go, make it 6 stars for Sun Tsu and level 60 because you can benefit a lot out of it. But you can either decide on that one, and then once you kind of a little bit, get into the game and you want to spend a little bit more money, if you've grown as a free-to-play player into a little bit more of a moderate spender, I would rather invest on Yi, and you can use YSG as a defender a lot better out there. But if you are totally going to just invest on epic commanders, I highly suggest using Sun Tsu for flag defense and defending garrisons. And then the next commander you guys want to focus on is Eulji. Actually, you guys can actually focus on Eulji first and then go to Sun Tsu, because Eulji is something that you guys want to actually get to 6 stars and then get it to level 60. The reason behind this is because of the talent tree of the attack and then infantry talents. So this is my talent tree for Eulji. If you look into the left pad, you can see that these 3 talents are mainly focused on infantry buffs. And if you look into the right pad, you can see 2 things in there that is going to involve marching speed. First is going to be involving the marching speed for your units, and then second is going to inflict marching speed reduction to the enemy. And then this talent as well, the Iron Spear, is crucial for infantry units. It's going to grant additional damages towards cavalry units. You want that because infantries will counter cavalry. And then I would suggest to really get this elite soldier so that you can further increase the infantry buffs. And then I would work into the attack pad. And so far, this is the attack pad that I have. I would suggest for you guys to actually start into the infantry over here first. Get this done, work a little bit the attack pad, and you also need this. You want this Undying Fury because it's going to grant additional 9 rage per normal attack. And then also here is another one. It's going to grant 6 rage every time this commander troops are attacked. So you want it to be able to generate as much rage, so therefore you can cast the skill of Eulji. And then for his second commander as well, I would pair Sun Tsu and they could cast that skill a lot faster. And this is the reason why we're going to put Eulji as a primary rather than Sun Tsu as a primary. Even though Sun Tsu has that skills path, we want to activate that skills a lot faster by using the infantry talent tree plus the attack talent tree. Because when you're getting attack, the rages is going to just increase incrementally a lot faster. And also if you look at this talent, this effortless talent is going to increase all damage maximum by every 10 seconds. So you want to get this talent crucial, very crucial talent, because the longer that you stay on the battlefield, the stronger Eulji becomes with this talent. Now I'm telling you guys to start off with this because in the early stages of the game, you're not even going to be on the PvP, you're just farming in the beginning. At this stage is probably the time that you're actually going to PvP, so this is probably the most crucial talent that you guys will have fighting against other players, because at around about level 40 is probably around that time. I know you guys can grind that fast, I know you guys can level him up as quick as possible. As long as you guys participate on the events and you can get those sculptures and also getting those starlights, and you know, of course you're going to level them up by participating on defeating barbarians and defeating guardians, so it's going to be an easy peasy for you guys. I know you guys are true F2P warriors and you guys can do that. And if you guys can't level them up to level 40 right away, it's not a big thing. Right, in the early stages of the game, it's going to be a little bit of a rocky road anyway. Make sure that you only focus on one commander first at a time. Don't be focusing on 2-3 commanders that are all the same classes, that are epic, and then you're just going to have like a bunch of different holes in there. Get that one strong first and then move on to the next one, because if not, if you're splitting off dividing up those powers, you're not going to be successful in doing that way. So the next commander that we're going to talk about, so we've only talked about 2 commanders already. First is Sun Tsu, and second is Eulji. Eulji would be the primary for Sun Tsu, okay? So you have 2 commanders now. Now we got 3 more commanders to talk about. So you guys may not like this one. It's going to be Joan of Arc, okay? So the reason why it's Joan of Arc is because of farming. Being a free-to-play player, you still need to farm. You need to be able to farm a lot and a lot faster than, you know, other players. You need to grind and you need to set timers, do all those things if you really want to be a true F2P grinder. We're putting Joan of Arc on the list is, yes, mainly because of gathering. Also, if you actually focus on Joan of Arc as your first commander to focus on, you can also use her as a fighter. Majority of Joan of Arc's skills are actually involved in PvP rather than gathering. But if you're labeling on the 5 best commanders, Joan of Arc is one of them because of her versatility. I'm going to talk about more because how we're going to pair Joan of Arc to the next commanders that we're going to be talking about is going to be very beneficial for everyone because she is so versatile and you can practically put her with any commanders that you guys want and she will rock the world. So one thing that we can't leave off here, guys, is that Joan of Arc is an amazing support commander. So as a free-to-play player, you come into the battlefield, sending Joan of Arc there also is going to help out the pay-to-wins because you're going to be basically buffing them, helping them out in the battlefield. So Joan of Arc plays a crucial role in here. And also, let's not forget that there are other commanders that we can actually use in the battlefield that can help out as well. Such as Herman, sending him in the battlefield could disable a commander. So he is one of the good choices as well, but I don't think he is going to be on my top 5 recommended list because I want you to start being more realistic. At the end of the day, you're gonna start losing troops, and when you start losing troops, you're gonna fall back into mixed troops, and you know, you have to think about that. But if you're looking for specific roles, then it'll be a different conversation that we're gonna have. If you're looking for, you know, support role, attacker role, and you know, defensive role, it's all gonna be very different. You know, different commanders you're gonna be using. But for this content, it's going to be more universal, and we're going on the leaning side towards the mixed troops. So guys, I am debating to put Belisarius on this list, but I think I'm gonna pass. Even though I like the mobility tree, it's not going to really benefit free-to-play players. Now you guys may disagree with me with this one, but I'm gonna accept that. Mobility is something that's very crucial for free-to-play, of course, because you can run away from pay-to-wins and not get caught off. But if you play smart and you just basically hop around cities, fight around flags, you shouldn't be caught off. Alright, so the 4th commander that we're going to talk about instead is going to be Boudica. And although Belisarius have a talent that is going to increase damage towards barbarians 35%, right? I'd rather go for Boudica because Boudica has increasing the XP, the experience bonus, obtained by attacking, barbarians or other neutral units. And you can use that with anything, right? We're helping you also for the Karak events and stuff. And you can get XP bonus from there. Now, I like Boudica to mention this because Boudica is really good for any type of units, basically. If you're focusing on Eulji, you can put Boudica there as a free-to-play. Free-to-play players, you're going to be a little bit more limited on what you can have as a commander-wise. Boudica has 3 things going on in here. Disable, damage, and debuff. Boudica also has heal and rage restoration. Boudica's skills are primarily focused on offense, right? This Queen of Iceni is highly an offensive skill base. So that's why we're putting Boudica here. And let's be realistic. When I try to make my free-to-play content, I make sure that I put into an effect on how you guys are actually playing the game. I first started as a free-to-play. This is why I can relate a little bit better. Free-to-play players, you guys pretty much will have mixed type of troops. If you're a free-to-play player and you disagree with me right now, take a look at your troops counts right now. Also, if you are in the late stage of the game, maybe this doesn't apply anymore. But if you're starting from the early to mid-game, think about this, guys. Go back to your past gaming. Think about what type of troops you guys had and how's your dispatch. You're not going to have about 200k troops right away, 300 troops right away of one single unit. You're going to have, 100k of each, or maybe, 100k, 50, 60k, 80k. It really depends on how, you're training your troops. But majority of the time, free-to-play players will end up falling back into mixed type of troops. It's nice to see a guide, a content that focuses on full units, and we've seen those in other content creators. I want to show you guys the realistic view. Being as a pay to win now, even with all the wars and the KVK, at the end of the day, I fall back on mixed troops because I'm down. I ran out of troops, now I'm falling back to mixed troops. Now, if I only focus on those commanders that are specialized into one specific type of troops, I'm doomed. I won't have a good buff for my mixed troops. This is why, as a pay to win, let's kind of talk about a little bit pay to win. I went to Hannibal Barca on getting those mixed troops because that's the pay to win guide for mixed troops. But here for free to play, using Boudica is a crucial for free to play for you need to fall back onto mixed troops. And the next commander we're going to talk about is going to be the best one for having mixed type of troops as a free-to-play player. So for commander pairing, you can actually use Boudica and Joan of Arc if you've invested in Joan of Arc for PvP fighting. And you can also use the next commander that we're going to talk about as a primary commander and then Boudica. So without further ado, we're going to be talking about Scipio Africanus as the 5th commander. Now, I don't want you guys to think that I'm neglecting other commanders like Herman, a very, very good commander. Also Pelagius, Kosunoki, and there's other commanders. It really depends on your own playing style, on how you guys are going to approach the game. With the guide that I'm doing right now for free-to-play to moderate spender, I'm trying to be more realistic to what you guys are going to fall back into once you start reducing your troops, and also once you are trying to get up to the later stages of the game where you will have more units. Then therefore, when you have more units, you can set up for full type of units on your march. But majority of the time when you're working your way up there, you're going to have mixed troops. Now, I did mention about Eulji and Sun Tsu. That's an option for you guys to do if you are doing a full infantry guide. So if you are also trying to, invest on your training speed ups on infantry, then you can do an Eulji Sun Tsu. We talked about that because also Sun Tsu has that AoE skill that will definitely have a big factor in the battlefield, and also they are both garrison commanders, so very helpful, right? So Scipio Africanus, we're talking about Scipio because he is, for me, the best epic commander for free-to-play players and moderate spenders. The reason behind this is this skill, genuine aristocracy. Increasing the amount of troops. When you have mixed troops in the battlefield as a free-to-play player, you're gonna be combining your archers, your infantries, your cavalry, and then at some point when you start reducing your troops, you're gonna have siege units there, right? You're gonna increase the troop capacity bonus. What this does is increasing troop capacity bonus in the battlefield. It means that first you're going to have higher damage output, longer battle time in the battlefield, and you're going to basically contribute a lot more than the other players there that will only have about, let's say, 150k troops compared to you with 200k troops, mixed troops. And having mixed troops is going to be a little bit harder to counter, right? Imagine this: if you're fighting against a full infantry and then you're sending out mixed troops, it's only countering a portion of your troops, then it's not the whole thing. And if you guys are curious about this, I have a video, my previous KVK videos, where I had an opponent who sent a full march units, and instead what I did is I came out with a mixed troops, a mixed unit led by a mixed commander, Hannibal Barca, and I was able to inflict a heck ton of damage because I had more troops compared to him, and I had better buff because of mixed troop buffs. I actually personally like the attack tree, and also some of the leadership path. I enjoy having that talent for me. So taking into consideration here, Scipio, talking about the genuine aristocracy, right? It's going to basically help you as a free-to-play player to fight in the battlefield, and you can pair Boudica here, you can pair Joan of Arc and other commanders as well. If you have, let's say you have more infantry and your march, and then you're running low on other units, and you put more infantry and you want to do a, let's say you can't build a full infantry yet, but you have more infantry. What you can do is have more infantry units in this commander. One thing that you need to also know is that Scipio has some healing. So with this healing, he has 15% chance to heal slightly wounded. So when he's on the battlefield, right, he can start healing as well. So it will trigger when his army is less than 40% of its units remaining. So when your 60% of your units are gone, he's going to start triggering some heals. Now, I want to mention this is the most crucial skill that he has, and I like it, because it's going to increase the counter attack damage. For 5 seconds, it's going to mean 5 turns. Counter attack happens every single turn, right? Every turn that you get attacked, you're going to do a counter attack. So increasing that counter attack damage bonus, it's basically freebie attack. He also has this buff, is going to reduce the damage taken from the enemy. So if you take a look into these two things right now, you're inflicting more damage whenever you get attacked because of the counter attack. And then second, you're whenever you're getting attacked on that turn, you're reducing it already. So basically you're winning on that turn. Imagine if you're fighting against with a full, let's say full infantry, full cavalry, and they have 200k troops, and then you bring in maybe 250k troops. More than likely you're going to win. Depend on your tech as well, of course. If you have such a low tech, then probably not. So I don't want to keep you guys too long here, guys. I just want to make a point. Having mixed troops really is going to be crucial and beneficial for you guys. So if you guys want to take a look in here, I am being swarmed with like a heck ton of players. I have my Hannibal Barca, which is a leadership commander, but let's ignore the commanders right now and just focus on the troop counts. So as you can see, having more troop counts, even though the person has a T5 technology, I was still able to basically win in this battle report because I had more troops fighting. Basically, even it's all T4 and it's all mixed troops. And I'll kind of briefly talk about, before we end the video, the talent tree as well. You can see that there is multiple players attacking me. There's another full cavalry here. This is T4, and as you can see, eventually I would lose because there's so many players out here that are going against me. But as you guys can see, having that a lot of troops in the battlefield, I can, basically inflict more damages towards other players as well, and basically be successful in that fight. Let's say you have Scipio and Sun Tsu instead of looking at this one with Hannibal and Yi, you can actually perform the same performance that I just did. Now let's take a look in here and let's go to the talent tree instead. So I want you to actually just think that Hannibal Barca is Scipio because leadership, conquering, and attack is pretty much the same thing as Scipio, leadership, conquering, and attack. And my Hannibal is level 60. So if you're looking for a talent tree for Scipio, this might be the best one for you. We talked about the effortless, right? The longer I stay in the battlefield, the higher my damage is going to be. And then we talked about the rage for the attack tree. So it's this one, the rage gain when you're getting attacked. And one of the biggest thing here with the leadership commander is this buff. This armed teeth and armored teeth, because when you have different units in there, 3 different units, it's going to increase or reduce, right? For this one, it's going to increase your damage dealt. And for this one, for the armored teeth, since it's armored, right, it's going to increase the defense. Basically, all damage taken is reduced by 3%. So there's the benefit there for having mixed troops. So I know, like I said, we have not talked about other commanders in here, but there are other commanders that are very useful. For me, those 5 are the most crucial for free-to-play that are starting out, but I want you guys to explore other commanders as well. Find the best fit for you. Find something that you guys will enjoy, you guys will have fun, something that you guys would want to see in the battlefield and you guys would enjoy. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys again next time. I hope this video was very helpful. I would love to hear some feedbacks from you guys, and let me know what you guys think. And if you guys have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe. And if you guys have find this video to be beneficial for you, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys again next time. And if you guys leave me a comment letting me know what type of content you guys want to see in the future videos, I will definitely tackle them. Until next time, my friends.